Well, I kind of have the exact same opinion that both of you guys have.
Why do we never have differing opinions?
Because we're
smart.
underqualified.
We are
Okay.
smart, underqualified knuckleheads.
Fine.
Good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time we caught you. Welcome back to the Underqualified Knuckleheads podcast. I am your host, Daniel Keene, with Andy Newman, your other co-host. Andy, how you doing today?
I'm not doing too bad. I'm doing even better with our dude, Zach Greer, in the studio. Zach, how are you doing? I'm doing well, by the way.
I am really tired, but you know what? I made some time out of my day to come on this podcast because I heard that we have some very exciting stuff that we are talking about today, and I cannot wait to go over it.
Yes, indeed. We will be talking about some very interesting stuff. Zach Greer is a avid historian for the NBA and probably knows more than Andy and I combined.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty obvious. That's why he's in the studio right now. I hope you know. Like, I used to care about the NBA, but it is just in my level of I don't care.
Basketball kind of takes over my life as much as football
true.
takes over Andy's life.
That is okay. I understand that, and thank you for at least doing this when you woke up at 5 a.m. this morning.
Yeah,
Not to plug another media outlet, but you could have seen Zach Greer today on Cardinal Weather.
Waking up with Cardinal Weather.
Waking up with
Wow.
Cardinal Weather.
Me and my guy Vinny Monterano decided to talk about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I guess Vinny will be on here at some point here soon. So
Oh yeah,
in the future,
in a couple weeks,
in the next 8 years or so, we'll get Vinny on.
We're gonna run for a long time. But first and foremost, yesterday was the NFL Honors Night. All the big people and all the big places talking about all the big football stuff.
Except for Tom Brady, who is never there.
Tom Brady doesn't go.
He never goes.
Hey, Tom Brady for the third week in a row. Tom Brady is mentioned in our episode.
Why did I bring him up again?
It's just lovely.
I'm
to
never
just had to do it to
name.
yourself.
We just had to do it.
It's my fault. Yeah, I know.
Okay, but first, Defensive Player of the Year, T.J. Watt. He was given the award by his big brother, J.J. Watt. I don't think you can really argue with this pick. I mean, 22.5 sacks, dragged the Steelers' defense all season.
The only person that I saw that was kind of upset about it. And if you look, there was I'm gonna bring up the Colts a lot today because I feel and I know, and J.J. Watt was a perfect choice. Really, just gonna look at the camera.
Here we go.
Look at the camera like Jim. Whatever. I think T.J. Watt was a perfect choice. I would not have picked Darius Leonard over him, but obviously Darius Leonard was unhappy with that choice. The Colts posted some sort of picture lining up all the stats of the previous winners of the Defensive Player of the Year, and Darius Leonard was better than all of them in each stat. So
he tied Michael Strahan's sack record. So
I get it.
Keep in mind, T.J. Watt played 15 games this season.
Yeah, I understand.
And I just want to say this, that I think that what we saw this season was something that we have not seen in a long time when it comes to depoys, because we saw so many amazing players. Robert Quinn, I'm going to mention the Chicago Bears because I'm a Chicago Bears fan. Yeah. Robert Quinn had 18.5 sacks and did not get mentioned once this season.
That's a pretty good defensive showing. I would agree with you. This has been a wonderful year of NFL, but
it was clearly
T.J. Watt. Yeah. I don't think there's any issue with that. Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp, won the Triple Crown for just the fourth time in NFL history. 17 yards shy of Calvin Johnson's all-time single-season receiving yards record. I don't think there should be anything. I think the Colts fan in the room is going to have something to say about it, but
no, I understand. Again, I think a lot of Colts fans are understanding of the fact that Cooper Kupp had an insane season. I understand that. Do I think that he should have won the award? Sure, yeah. That was his award to win. I think JT had a fantastic season. Obviously, miles ahead of everyone else in the running back, at least category, other than Derrick Henry. But Derrick Henry got hurt, so you really can't put him in that category anymore. But I think at one point in time, maybe he was an MVP candidate. Maybe he was a shoo-in for the Offensive Player of the Year. We didn't make the playoffs. I mean, that kind of killed him.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp balled out every single game. It was unbelievable. Last time we saw the Triple Crown was Steve Smith in 2005 or 6.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a really long time. And even though even though Cooper Kupp, played in the slot and went up against linebackers and nickel corners, he still had an amazing season.
Oh yeah, no,
I,
easily.
I think if you take into account the fact that the Rams played him in every position possible.
Yeah.
You saw him in this playoff run. They were using him as a third blocker for the run game in the slot, going for big bombs. He is their Swiss Army knife. And he's kind of like the perfect tool for Matthew Stafford to have. Any quarterback coming into a brand new system from a different team, to have a guy like Cooper Kupp, like you can always find him. You always know he's there. He's always your go-to guy. I don't really think anyone else should have won it. Moving on to the other offensive award, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jamar Chase, third in TDs, 1,400 receiving yards.
Some people thought it was supposed to be Mac Jones.
Do you guys remember it was like in the middle of the season where Mac Jones took over like the projected odds to win Rookie of the Year, and then the very next game he goes 2 for 3 with 19 yards, and I'm like, okay, why was he in consideration for winning the award in the first place?
I get it a little bit because like the Patriots did really well. Like I think that everyone thought the Patriots would be rebuilding for another year or so, but they turned it around really quickly. Very, very quick bounce back rebuild. But no, I don't think Mac Jones should have ever been in contention.
I think he was in consideration slightly because he's a quarterback.
Yeah, that's the
probably.
only he was the best rookie quarterback out of like what was supposed to be in a fantastic class, which honestly, from at least this year, has been kind of meh.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence really didn't do anything. Zach Wilson definitely didn't do anything.
Trevor Lawrence had Urban Meyer as a coach,
okay,
but still
but
didn't do
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
And Trey Lance didn't even play.
Trey Lance didn't play. He played like one game but was hurt.
And then Justin Fields got hurt.
Yeah.
So
I think
By default.
Probably in the future this will look good, but yes, I agree this season was pretty underwhelming. But I think back in the draft, I criticized this pick very heavily because I thought they should have taken Penei Sewell, helped out that offensive line, helped Joe Burrow out. I am glad the Lions got Penei Sewell.
Yes.
And I also take it back. Jamar Chase has just been otherworldly.
It was so weird when they drafted him, but then after it clicked in me, like, oh, Burrow just wanted to go and get his guy from LSU. And you look at the Bengals like last season when they were terrible. Joe Burrow didn't do anything. And then you go and get Jamar Chase, a guy that he played with in college, and then all of a sudden the Bengals are like the biggest threat in the NFL.
in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl. It was, so weird.
Don't get me wrong, they need to draft an offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
They need to work that
And I'm
line.
being completely serious. I think that offensive line is going to be their Achilles heel in the Super Bowl on Sunday. But
We will
we'll
talk about that
a
later.
little later.
We'll talk about that
But no,
later.
Jamar Chase has elevated this team to a level that I was unaware that they could even reach this close after drafting Joe Burrow. It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
And they're already in the Super Bowl. Like they've been elevated to a team that can compete on a high level with the Chiefs and the Bills.
Yeah, and I mean maybe it might be a little bit of a big first year boost underdog type mentality, but we can all see this Bengals team being a perennial playoff team for the next 5 years.
And Jamar is one of the biggest pieces of that. So
And Jamar is one of the biggest
definitely worthy of the award.
Yeah, moving on. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Micah Parsons, 13 sacks from linebacker, 3 forced fumbles, 64 solo tackles. There was actually a little bit of talk of him maybe being Defensive Player of the Year.
Hey, hot take. If this year was not that good in terms of like all the play, if we didn't see TJ Watt tie a record, I probably would have voted for Micah Parsons.
I would agree. If we did not see such dominance in defense this year from multiple players, this could have been a year where Micah Parsons won it as
because
a rookie.
the Cowboys, before drafting Parsons, were terrible on defense.
Oh, yeah.
They were awful. I remember a specific game where they played the Cardinals on Monday Night Football and were just getting torched the entire game. And I was like, man, this defense is terrible. And then they go and draft Parsons, who I honestly, I saw his film from Penn State, and I thought he would be okay. He'd be a good prospect. I was not expecting this at all. The amount of sacks that he was able to do and the amount of like pressure that he was able to do as a linebacker, he could have been anywhere on the field and would have been perfectly fine for that Dallas defense. I mean, it was crazy.
He's going to be – I mean, obviously, if Dallas doesn't start being the team that they can be in the next couple years. He'll be on a different team, but he will be a tool for whatever team he's on throughout his career.
Oh yeah.
I think Dallas will get it turned around if that's what you're talking about. I feel like they probably should have done it this year. I really don't know what the problem was or what's going on. Dallas has literally all the pieces to win a Super Bowl and lost to. I mean, okay, the Niners were a team that were worthy of getting lost to, I guess maybe, but. The Cowboys should have been able to do it.
They had the offense. They had the defense.
Yeah, they had everything.
It's Mike McCarthy.
You really think so?
I think it's Mike McCarthy.
I don't think especially the game against the 49ers, it was Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. Honestly, up until like last week, I kind of forgot that he still was the head coach. I thought he got fired. I was almost sure that he got fired. And then I was like, oh, he's still the coach. But moving on, Comeback Player of the Year. There's a little bit of debate about this, but Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty, I think he deserves it because of what he's done. If the Bengals didn't go to the AFC Championship, didn't go to the Super Bowl, I think it would have gone to Dak Prescott.
Now here's the thing, though. These awards are supposed to be regular season based, but I feel like there has to be some sort of like postseason bias that kind of goes into
it's
them
the recency bias.
Yeah,
it's 100% recency bias.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I hate this award. I can't stand it.
Comeback player.
It sounds weird, but the way that they give out the award is so strange to me. They used to give out the award to just whoever had the best season with the injury that they had, and then Alex Smith won it last year after almost not being able to walk, and he played
almost dying actually.
Yeah, and then he played terrible, but he came back and played football, and so it was kind of like it kind of threw off what they were trying to do for the award, and I don't know. All I'm saying is that Joe Burrow had an amazing season, and if it's a regular season award, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't have voted for Joe Burrow. I would have voted for Nick Bosa. Do you know how well he played this season?
Nick Bosa tore his ACL last year.
Nick Bosa tore his ACL in week 2. He had 15.5 sacks this year as a defensive lineman being double-teamed and was second in the league in tackles for loss.
Oh, he'll be good.
He was voted to the Pro Bowl almost unanimously. And nobody talked about it, but because of the amount of hype and media presence that was around Joe Burrow, Nick Bosa, honestly could have won that easily.
That's an interesting take.
Nick Bosa could have won it easily.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Dak Prescott could have won it easily.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do anything miraculous this year, but he put up good numbers.
Yeah.
But after I still, when I think Dak Prescott, I cannot get the image of that ankle that ankle injury out of my head.
Seeing that live, oh my god.
So whenever I see that, I think that. Whenever I think Dak
it was
Prescott,
unbelievable
I see
back.
that. And it's unbelievable that he came back and he played not lights out, not to the level of Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow doesn't make the playoffs or makes just the first round of the playoffs. I could easily see either Dak Prescott or Nick Bosa winning that award.
It was strange that Nick Bosa didn't even really get that much consideration for it because he was realistically the backbone of the 49ers defense and why they got to the NFC Championship game while having a torn ACL the prior season.
I don't even think he was nominated. I think it was just Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow.
Which, it's a quarterback award.
Everything is a quarterback award.
Everything's a quarterback award.
It's the most important position in football.
Yes.
I mean, I hate to say it. We should start having specific awards designated to specific positions. We should have a Kicker of the Year award for Pete's sake.
Special Teams Player of the Year.
Special Teams
I like
Player
that.
of the Year. I would love that.
Pat McAfee would have won every year.
Devin Hester would have made it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
so
Justin Tucker.
So all I'm saying is that Joe Burrow had an amazing season, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you put Nick Bosa's stats into a quarterback, like a person who had the similar stats of like a quarterback,
I
know
what you mean.
They would be in an MVP. No. They would be the MVP. 100%.
I'm following. And
interesting.
And speaking of MVP, Aaron Rodgers, you can't argue with it. I think I saw.
I see an argument for Brady. I wouldn't have voted for him, but I see an argument.
I don't at all. I cannot. He didn't do. I mean,
no.
No, I can't.
The answer is no.
Yeah, I can't see an argument for Brady.
Well, people are like, oh, he was more efficient than Rodgers and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah,
cares?
because he threw more.
Yeah.
He had to throw more because that's the way that their offense was run. If you take Aaron Rodgers off the Green Bay Packers, we saw the game against the Chiefs.
Oh my God.
It was not pretty.
It was terrible.
I pray. As a fan of the Lions, I pray that Aaron Rodgers does not return to the NFC North, because not only would I love to see what Jordan Love can do in that offense, but also, rid the NFC North.
We saw what Jordan Love can do in that offense. Nothing, apparently,
It's
because
not
that game
pretty.
was horrible.
It was
I
awful
want to
game.
give a young player the benefit of the doubt, but without Aaron Rodgers, that is not the Green Bay Packers that we know.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm being completely honest here. I kind of think that he might return to Green Bay. That's just the vibe that I've been getting.
I kind of see it.
It's looking
That's
more
just
and
the
more
vibe that I've
likely,
been getting.
but maybe he just retires.
I don't
and that-
know where he goes. I don't know where he goes.
Honestly,
I think betting odds are still Broncos, but
Betting odds are still Broncos, but I don't.
Betting odds
I
make no
don't.
sense.
I don't think Rodgers wants to go to the AFC West. That's my only thing.
yeah, that would make no sense.
No.
It makes sense in every aspect other than the fact when you look at the division.
I've told Andy this.
Yeah.
When we've worked with the Fantasy Express radio show, but all I'm saying is that I'm going to be pushing the Aaron Rodgers to Tampa Bay narrative, just because I feel like it.
honestly, if he does it, that would be cool.
It would be cool. And think about the quarterbacks that he has to play in that division: Taysom Hill, Sam Darnold, Matt Ryan.
Woohoo!
So much fun. I would much rather play those guys than
You could
Pat
torch them, low key. Yeah.
than Pat Mahomes, Derek Carr,
I
and
would
Justin
agree.
Herbert.
oh wow. Yeah,
I think
okay.
when you're looking at what team to go to in Aaron Rodgers' position, you're not only looking like, where am I going to win? Where am I going to get paid the most? You're looking like, where am I going to look the best?
Exactly.
That's half the reason why Tom Brady went to the NFC South, because he was like,
Okay,
I'm
well
gonna
then
look-
I'll
look great
He was
there.
like, "This is easy. Wow."
Hey, if we're talking about quarterbacks in divisions, I'll throw out 3 quarterback names for you: Trevor Lawrence,
Don't you dare.
Davis Mills, and Ryan Tannehill.
He's not going to the Colts.
and he's not going to the Colts. I don't think.
Oh.
But if he does,
Props to Indy.
Andy
Woo!
just said it. I mean, the 3 other quarterbacks he's got to play 6 times a year.
Not bad.
Not great either.
No.
Yeah. Well, moving on, I'm going to run through these 2 real quick. I think this is just for the most yards, FedEx Ground Player of the Year and Air Player of the Year. Is that
Yeah,
just
I do believe so.
that's just for the most yards?
I feel as though
Sure.
I'm going to be honest. And I know the NFL pretty well. I've never heard of these awards.
I have.
before.
I looked it up. They've been giving it out for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I feel like this is just kind of a thing that they gave out because they felt bad for Jonathan Taylor.
That
and
is
Tom Brady.
true. Yes.
That has to be it.
Hey, Jonathan Taylor.
Stinks.
Speaking of, Jonathan Taylor won Ground Player of the Year.
Woohoo!
Tom Brady won Air Player of the Year. Let's run through that real quick.
Yay!
Great to those 2. Wonderful performance this season.
Congratulations to Jonathan
good
Taylor.
job,
though.
everyone.
Like you got to take a second. I know I keep harping on Colts players, but you got to take a second. Jonathan Taylor had a fantastic year, 1,800 plus rushing yards. The dude was dominant. He had a game where he had 5 touchdowns. Like I don't know.
That Bills game was unbelievable.
No, yeah, we literally dismantled them. Like, how do we not make the playoffs, man?
And the NFL Coach of the Year this season was Mike Vrabel. I disagree. I'm not going to lie. I want to hear your guys' points first,
Oh, yeah, I
but
got some.
I will say I disagree.
Ooh.
Andy, go ahead.
Okay, so Mike Vrabel was able to take a team that was basically disheveled without Derrick Henry and somehow make them the number 1 seed in the AFC with Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, the Colts who were going off at that point in time.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, literally everyone. The AFC is so insanely stacked with talent. Lamar Jackson. We have everyone.
He was injured.
Yeah, but still, you were able to be the number 1 seed in the AFC without Derrick Henry, with literally just Julio Jones, who was hurt half the time, A.J. Brown, who was hurt half the time, and Ryan Tannehill, who was like Ryan Tannehill, I guess, in a defense that really, can you name like anyone on their defense?
That
really?
defense was horrendous.
Yeah.
Because they signed Bud Dupree in the offseason, who was coming off of an injury, and he played in Pittsburgh, and he wasn't that great. And everyone was like, man, this Titans defense sucks. They are terrible going into the year. And then they ended up actually playing fine.
Yeah, how?
And
how?
I want to know, Daniel, did you want to win this? Who did you think deserved this award?
I think Zach Taylor.
I was about to say, well, you're going to say Campbell.
Oh hell no. But I think Zach Taylor deserved this award. I mean, I know we say it's a regular season award
Because it is. It's supposed to be.
Yes, but it's never a regular season award. They always have postseason bias in there, and if we're taking in postseason bias, Zach Taylor led the Cincinnati frickin' Bengals to the Super Bowl.
Again,
That's just coach of the playoffs.
Yeah, he could be the coach of the playoffs.
Coach of the regular season too. He got them into the playoffs. They ran the AFC North.
I get your argument because did you have the Bengals going last? Did you have the Bengals going last?
I had the Bengals last in the NFC
I could guarantee
North.
you every single person who's listening to this podcast right now and just watching this everywhere, they had the Bengals last.
And my shot at Vrabel is that you took that team to the AFC Championship last year. It is already expected. After you go there, it is now expected. Returning the same
without
roster,
Derrick Henry, though?
adding Julio Jones to your roster.
He didn't do anything.
I know, but still, you add a talent like that, a name like that to your roster, it is almost expected that you run back to the AFC Championship and you probably go to the Super Bowl. I think in terms of Titans front office, they are not seeing this season as much of a success as last year.
Well, yeah, because they didn't make the AFC Championship this year. But, dude, Mike Vrabel carried that whole team.
I get your point.
That whole I get
your point. I like your take. I still would go Vrabel because he did get to the AFC Championship. The thing is that going into this season, nobody expected the Titans to win more than 10 games.
Yeah.
No, give the Titans Chuck Pagano and let's see what happens. Like, I love Chuck. Chuck is one of the coolest dudes I've ever met in my entire life. Nicest guy I've ever met. Even a worse coach. Give them Hugh Jackson. Where are they at right now? They maybe win 2 games.
Give them Urban Meyer.
Yeah, give them Urban Meyer.
Give them David.
Are they the number 1 team in the AFC at the end of the regular season?
Give them David Coley.
But I don't.
Oh my God.
I think it could have gone to Zach Taylor and equally
I get it.
been
Yeah.
understandable. Quick thing though, when Joe Burrow accepted his comeback player of the year, he accepted it like via Los Angeles.
That was kind of neat.
That was kind of neat.
And
except
he
he left the trophy at the table and just walked away.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, he
did.
just
He
forgot
just
it, went
didn't
to
care.
sit back down. So I thought that was.
He's focused.
He's focused.
He's got one.
He's
thing
got
in
one
mind.
trophy in his mind, and it's the Super Bowl trophy. NFL Man of the Year, Andrew Whitworth.
Congratulations.
Congrats to him. He's
cool guy.
I've seen his interviews. I've read and watched a lot about him. He's just seems like a nice, wholesome guy.
What a good dude.
Yeah.
Oldest left tackle in the NFL in NFL history.
I do believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Nothing but awesome things to say to him. Wonderful award. Good for him.
And the Hall of Fame class. I'm going to read you off these names.
We're gonna give Andy 2 minutes max
Yes.
for this segment on the Hall of Fame class.
Okay. So here's let's just read off the names for the Hall of Fame. I was sitting in my dorm, like, on the verge of tears, like, so excited. I'm not even kidding. I was like, oh, come on. Let it be Reggie Wayne. Let it be Reggie Wayne. I was, like, literally almost on the verge of tears. Like, I've met this man a bunch of times in my life. Again, I've said this about Chuck Pagano. Reggie Wayne is one of the nicest, most personable guys, cares about his fans, cares about the people that I've ever met. And, like, I was able to, like, sit in his car one time, and he signed his helmet for me. Very cool. Yeah, I know. Reggie Wayne's a cool guy. It was gold car, by the way. Very neat. Anyway, so let's read the Hall of Fame class for this year. Richard Seymour, who? Bryant Young, who? Larry Butler, who? Tony Baselli, kind of heard of him, but also who? Sam Mills, who? Dick Vernelli, who? Cliff Branch, who? Art McNally, first ref. Okay, congratulations to him, but a ref over Reggie Wayne. Over Reggie Wayne, Devin Hester, DeMarcus Lawrence, Jared Allen, Torrey Holt.
Okay, quick side note, but I'll tie it to this. How old are you guys?
I'm well aware that these guys are old. They were probably as big names back in the day.
I will say, I understand pretty much most of this Hall of Fame class just with my respect for history. I think Devin Hester could have a shout for the Hall of Fame. The rest of that list, I'm a little bit like.
These guys dominated back in the day. The thing is that it's weird. It's just weird that there's no like recent player.
I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
And I mean, good on the NFL for respecting the past, but
they do that. Like they do like half past, half present every year, and there was no present.
I do kind of like the fact that they put a ref in the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's
That was
good.
kinda
Honestly,
cool.
yeah,
that
I
is
kind of
kinda
agree
cool.
with that.
Congratulations. That's like the only one that I actually and the first Jags player.
My
sure.
one thing is, I know you said Reggie Wayne.
Yeah,
Another player who I really thought was going to get in, Jared Allen.
I thought he. Well, yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
but is he a first ballot? Apparently not.
I don't know. I mean,
I guess not, according to the NFL. No,
he
or Hall of
had
Fame.
an amazing career.
I mean,
He did,
I'm pretty,
yeah,
I'm
great.
pretty sure all of these snubs will have more years of eligibility.
Oh,
if I'm
they
not
will.
mistaken.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure they'll get in at some point.
Reggie, I think Reggie Wayne will get in.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I am sure Reggie Wayne, Devin Hester probably, Jared
Oh, yeah.
Allen, DeMarcus. I don't know about Torrey Holt.
It just wasn't their time.
It just wasn't their time this year.
I feel like Torrey Holt will make it. Then I just said who on all of these guys, and I'm pretty sure I'll hear flack from my grandpa because my grandpa will remember all of these guys and be like, they were fantastic. What are you talking about, Andrew? And I'll be like,
you might
Grandpa,
get a flag
I
from
don't
a lot
remember.
of people.
I don't remember any of these guys because I wasn't alive, nor did I wasn't around at that point in time. But I'm just going to read off Reggie's career accolades just real quick, and this is why I cannot believe that he isn't in here. He's got a Super Bowl. He's got 3 All-Pro selections, 6 Pro Bowls, NFL receiving leader in 2007, Colts Ring of Honor, and the Pro Football Reference creates a score for an average Hall of Famers based on their career stats and accolades. Average Hall of Famer has a score of 104. Reggie Wayne's 108. More than deserving.
Good for Reggie Wayne. He'll get it in a couple years.
He
Now,
should. Fine.
to the reason we have Zach in the studio today.
Woohoo!
NBA trade deadline closed last night, and there were some moves. So
Oh, there were some moves.
there were some moves. We're not just going to talk. We're not going to talk about the trade specifically. We're going to highlight the winners and losers of this NFL trade period.
And I'm liking one of the winners on the list, by the
There
way.
were a lot of things that happened. I am not going to cover everything. I'm simply just going to cover who did the best and who did the worst.
I like that.
I would agree.
Very, very simple.
I would agree.
All right.
Yeah. So starting, we're gonna go one good, one bad, and we'll just alternate
All right.
a little bit. 76ers got a couple guys in the building, got a couple guys out of the building. What do you think?
Well, here's the thing, is that the 76ers, I like what they did. I like what they're doing right now. The thing that I see that the 76ers are doing right now is that they are competing for now. They are going all in right now to win the Eastern Conference. Because I'm not going to say that the Eastern Conference is wide open, but I kind of feel as though this season there's a little bit of like there's a bunch of teams that are like very, very close to one another. If you look at the Eastern Conference standings from first to 8th place, 6.5 games.
Yep. Not too bad.
That's really close.
That is close.
probably-
Especially at the All-Star break, right?
Yes, that's really, really close. And the Sixers are 3 games out of first place. They did not have a single guy. Now, okay, excluding Steph Curry, and they obviously don't have him anymore.
Yeah.
They did not have that key guard on their team to go out and facilitate the offense.
I'd like no disrespect to Seth, but I wouldn't say that he's like key. Maybe.
Seth was a good,
He's a solid role player, right?
important
Yeah, solid role
go-to
player.
scorer.
Yeah.
Adding James Harden to the mix with Joel Embiid is huge for this organization. They are going out and winning now.
I would agree, but my kind of cutback is we've seen how James Harden has worked with other superstar individuals.
Yeah.
With his last 2 teams, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie. It's just not clicking. I think when you have James Harden on a team, he needs to be running the show. And working with other superstars to run the show together is not always his strong suit.
It's not always a strong suit, but all of the guys that you mentioned, none of them are a center. None of them are a center. None of
That's
them.
true.
None of them are
Touché.
None of them are guys who are back to the basket scorers like Joel Embiid and can go out and play solid defense. And with Joel Embiid, the spacing is kind of weird, but he's actually a pretty decent 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
And James Harden knows how to find guys and kick it out for 3.
Yeah,
He's very, very good at spacing the floor. I am not a Philadelphia 76ers fan at all, but going out and actually getting James Harden, I mean, sure, you lost Steph Curry, you lost a couple draft picks, you lost Andre Drummond. Not that big of a deal if you're going out and winning now. I think that there's a lot of teams that could have tried to do this, but none of them probably would have succeeded like Philadelphia did.
Yeah, I guess so. And we'll see how the 76ers do. But, I mean, maybe they've found their key.
This could completely backfire.
This could completely backfire. This could James Harden again. But maybe James Harden has finally found the system in the team where his skill set will work best.
And isn't his contract up at the end of this year? Like,
yes.
So he could leave.
They
He
could.
could. This has to be a.
They either win the whole thing or they're done.
They either win this year or it's not happening.
It's gonna So
and the way and it's a risk. It's a what I like to call a high risk, high reward situation because there is a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference. We have the Heat, we have the Bulls, we have the Nets, we have the Bucks, we have the Cavs, which I will get to in a second. There are so many teams that could actually go out and win the conference this year.
Yeah.
The Indiana Pacers. No.
Okay. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the first losers, which I almost disagree with, but I want to hear what you think about this, the New Orleans Pelicans.
The New Orleans Pelicans, yeah. I personally didn't really like what they did. And it's solely because I am not a fan of CJ McCollum. I'm really not, because of the fact that what I wanted the Pelicans to do in the trade deadline was go out and help their defense. They were one of the worst teams. They have been one of the worst teams in the NBA in regards to defensive efficiency. And what did they do? They went out and got a score-first guard who can't play defense, and they shipped away their best guard in Josh Hart that plays defense.
Yeah, I would back that idea. I think if Zion Williamson ever plays basketball again, they have a very threatening offense. Yes, they need to find a big defense. They need to find a defensive key to this team. But yeah, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, CJ McCollum is a good offense.
Oh, it's a great offense. But
what in the world is wrong with Zion again? It's like his foot, like for the 80th time.
It's like his
It's
foot.
everything.
It's his foot, but I think what it has to do with is the amount of weight.
That's
that
what I thought.
He
Yeah,
has on his foot.
What? Because you're telling me he's too fat and it's hurting his foot?
I wouldn't use the term fat. Think how Charles Barkley was the I think they called him the big round mound of rebound.
But
yes,
but Charles was like kind of fit though, was he not?
He
could run the floor.
Yeah.
He could run the floor, but he did have some health problems, especially later in his career. The issue is Zion Williamson had that weight to begin with. Charles Barkley started like a thin, fit guy, and then his weight problems came.
Okay.
Zion Williamson is starting his career with weight problems, which is derailing a lot.
I
of things
love
right now.
Zion. I mean, we
I
all saw his high school mixtape.
So
how cool that was! So cool to watch, and we're not being able to witness how good this guy actually is. We know the potential. We know how good Zion is. Last season, he averaged 27 and was an all-star.
No, I'm not a big guy on like college basketball regular season. Like my brother's huge into IU, just kind of meh. But I actually took time out of my day.
You're saying that as a Ball State student, right?
Yeah. Yes. Obviously. Yep. Anyway, so I took time out of my day one time to watch like Duke play North Carolina like in the regular season. That's the game that Zion like broke his shoe open.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I watching a college basketball regular season game about two teams I don't care about? Because Zion was
It's
so
because
drawing.
of the hype that Zion brought.
When Drake has your jersey in high school, you've got the hype.
Exactly.
Forever.
It's also
exactly.
Drake.
I love Zion.
It's the Drake curse. That's why. Yep. That's why he's hurt.
I could see that.
I don't hate that.
But I love Zion. It's just a matter of time of if the Pelicans can actually get their full roster. If they get all those guys, they still have no defense.
Yeah.
They still have no defense. They have a great offense, but that's what, like a 7 seed in the conference that would get swept by the 2 seed?
Yeah.
Like that's the ceiling of this team. And I like them going out and making moves. It's just I was not a fan of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, moving on. We know Cleveland football is not doing too hot right now. But apparently Cleveland basketball is off
Doing
the charts
well
this
for
season.
what I've been told.
I want to shout out my man, and he is a Newslink sports guy, Caleb Zuver. He is an
Zoobs.
absolute Cleveland Cavalier fanatic. He loves the Cavaliers, and he would agree with me on this, that they won in the trade deadline. Going out and getting Karis LeVert from the Indiana Pacers was a big need that they had. This team was so weird, and I'll let you get to your point in a second. But this
oh no, that's totally fair.
Let the man take the reins.
This team was so weird because they have a bunch of these really small guards, and then their lineup was just filled with these 7-footers that were just out, like Lauri Markkanen and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, who are all like 7 feet tall, just all being in the exact same lineup. And it was really weird to see, but they didn't have a premier score first guard. They had Garland, who could do that, but he's starting to become more of a facilitator now that Colin Sexton's out for the year. And they needed a guy like that. And getting Karis LeVert, who also is just now reuniting with Jared Allen. Yeah. So, I mean, they can play defense, they can shoot, they can play offense. They can really do everything right now, and they are a scary team. And I just would like to say they are 1.5 games out of first place.
Wow. This move kind of shocks me because I did not think the Pacers were going to let LeVert go. I thought he was locked in.
He's relatively young. He got drafted.
He is 27.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
The sports editor for my daily news section is huge, aggressive, very Pacers fanny, and was all over LeVert at the beginning of the season. And I was thinking, no way they can let him go. He's performing well. He's having a good season, and then he's gone. But do you think this is a little bit performance-based? Because let's be a little honest. I don't think we had the Cavs performing this well at the beginning of the season.
No, we hadn't seen this since LeBron James was there.
This type of play and this success was not happening.
It's a huge part of them going out and drafting Evan Mobley with the 3rd pick. That was huge. He is easily the best rookie in this class so far. He can score, he can rebound, he can block, he can do literally everything for this team. He can run the floor, he can space the floor, which is huge in today's NBA. And this guy, he does everything. Evan Mobley does everything. I mean, it's unreal. He doesn't have like the stats of a superstar, obviously, but you know that Evan Mobley's playing in a game because of the impact that he has on this Cavs team. If he is not there, honestly, they'd probably be like a 10 seed.
Okay, so then the other loser that you have on this list, Dallas Mavericks. I thought they did good. Didn't they get rid of Kristaps or?
Yes. The problem is that they added another guard. They added Spencer Dinwiddie to a team that has Luka Doncic and the backup Jalen Brunson, who is playing very, very good this year. Going out and getting another guard, to me, I mean, I'm just going to let everybody on the podcast know right now. Kristaps Porzingis is my least favorite player in the NBA.
I kind of saw that a little bit.
He is my least favorite player. And I guess it's good in the sense that they shipped out his contract. Like, that's good. It's just the way that they're trying to build this team around Luka, to me, makes no sense. They're building it around guards. It's weird. It's weird.
I liked Porzingis in New York. I liked his style. I liked his draw as a player. I think we never saw what the Mavericks were trading for when he was in Dallas. And then, even worse, I think the Mavericks got very little out of this trade.
They got Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans, who are 2 guys who actually have really big contracts. So they didn't really even save any money.
It was like cash considerations.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a crazy amount of talent, big contracts, and I was almost confident that they would get a couple draft picks in there, but they didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Andy, go ahead.
I want to be honest. The last thing I remember seeing about Porzingis on like any mainstream news was him losing a parlay for some dude for had 3 first basket scores.
He missed the goal.
He had a wide open layup, and he lost the guy $76,000. And he sent him a free basketball or something like that.
He felt nice, and so he gave him a signed Kristaps Porzingis Dallas Mavericks jersey.
Oh, that's what it was.
well, the Dallas Mavericks posted on February 8th that it was a picture of Porzingis on the sidelines, all dressed up. He wasn't playing in the game that night, and they said soon, and I was like, soon we're trading him, or what's going on there?
Oh man!
But another winner, and I think all Indiana fans will love this. The
Woohoo!
Pacers.
Indiana Pacers, yes.
Should I start caring again, or no? Like give it like 3 years.
Give
Give it a year.
Give it a year. Wait next year.
Okay, we'll do.
My thing is that I'm a big Tyrese Halliburton fan. I'm also a really big De'Aaron Fox guy. So seeing Tyrese go into a different situation where he can actually like flourish right now is really good to see. The Kings, on the other hand, I'm a little confused as to what they were going for. I'm going to be honest, because they statistically had the second worst defense in the entire NBA. And what did you go out and do? You go out and get 3 guys, more specifically a all-star who can't play defense.
Domas?
Yes. Domantas Sabonis cannot play defense. Everybody who has watched a Pacers game knows that.
Yeah.
But the
I don't
Pacers,
watch a lot of Pacers games, but the Pacers games I've watched, not great.
He can't play defense. He can't play defense at all.
Okay.
But the Pacers, they got 3 honestly pretty solid guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love Halliburton. I think he's great. I think he's going to do really well with Chris Duarte. Buddy Hield is another really good shooter.
Yeah.
I don't think that all of these guys will be here next season.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But-
But I like it. I
and
like the Pacers going youth, going big up, big ceilings.
Yeah.
May not all hit them, but you grab 30 M&Ms out of the jar and 15 of them are red, you'll drop the other 15.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Pacers,
Interesting analogy.
It was a terrible analogy. Like halfway through that analogy, I was like, what am I doing here?
the Pacers are 19 and 37 this
God,
year.
wow.
They are 13th in the Eastern Conference. They're not going for a play-in game. They're just going to revamp this roster. That's really what they're trying to do.
No, I think we can win it all. Easily, yeah. Yep.
As we can tell, Andy has not been watching the NBA.
But yeah,
He used to.
They're just trying to revamp their roster, and I think that this is right now a step in the right direction for this team. They've been kind of one of those like mid teams in the NBA
Forever.
Just kind of like hovering.
Yeah.
Not getting better, not getting worse.
No, they're not
just-
getting better. They're not getting worse. They make the playoffs every year, and then they just kind of lose in the first round or maybe make the second round.
That describes every single Indiana pro team ever. The
Yeah.
Colts are like that every year. The Pacers are like that every year.
Yeah, it's
We-
kinda
sometimes we're
strange.
good.
Until you get like a Peyton Manning.
At least you're not Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the Red Wings for a couple years and maybe the Tigers in the early 2000s, all Detroit sports franchises have been in a perpetual state of rebuilding.
Yeah, I'm
Like
sitting
40
great
years.
as a Chicago Bulls fan. I'm sitting pretty good
Yeah,
right
oh,
now.
yeah, you're looking good.
I put in our preseason column for the Daily News that I had the Bulls going to the finals.
Ooh.
So I'm on your back.
It's looking pretty good right now. But
Yep.
the last team that I want to highlight for losers, and I think we can all agree on this if you've been watching the NBA,
I actually have been paying attention to this team. I kind of can't not pay attention
the
to
Los
them.
Angeles Lakers.
Showtime.
What are you doing? Oh my gosh.
I think the funniest part about this is not only is this team not making moves to get better, not making moves to free up some money, not making moves to do anything with their team, you've got their star player, LeBron James, in an interview saying, is this team championship caliber right now? No.
He just said no. Did
He just said no.
He just said no.
He said, do I think this team is championship caliber right now? No. Is that what you want to hear? No.
No.
Like,
Why
what?
even watch?
You've got a guy that big who, let's be real, probably has a lot of swing in the front office.
Oh yeah, he does.
I thought he was gonna axe the whole team. Doesn't he usually do that?
What I was expecting,
Blood
and
GM?
what I was, what I was expecting, and what NBA fans wanted him to do, was just get rid of Russell Westbrook, and they didn't do it.
Weren't they trying to trade him for John Wall, but they wanted to pick and Russell Westbrook for John Wall or something like that?
Yeah,
It
they
wasn't
wanted to
it?
pick in John Wall for Russell Westbrook, and I think it was the Rockets that said no.
Okay,
not
and
at all.
And then I saw a report that they're looking just at the buyout market. What even is that?
It's a really complicated situation, but it basically involves money and basically is allowing players to buy out and then be able to be signed by a team. They're trying to get Dennis Schroeder back on the team, and I don't even know if he wants to go there. Well, to be fair, he is in Houston right now.
That sounds so
So-
fun.
I would not want to be
But-
in Houston.
The Lakers are
I think
in the play-in game, and they are sitting at a pretty 26-30.
I think the
Wow.
Lakers are just in free fall right now.
Yes,
This is what happens when the NBA super team experiment just dies.
Yes, we are seeing the decline of this super team right in front of our eyes. I mean, would anybody expect a lineup of Russell Westbrook, Avery Bradley, Trevor Ariza, LeBron James, and Dwight Howard in 2022 to win a title?
No.
No.
Honestly, no. Not in any.
Maybe in 2012.
Yeah, and I think they're just. It imploded.
It just imploded right in front of them. What I've noticed the past, especially several weeks, is they have had a lot of games come down to the wire, and then they just collapse. They'll be leading, and then they'll just collapse. They'll be like getting back into a game, and then they'll just collapse. I don't know what's going on. I think Russell Westbrook genuinely is a big part of the problem.
And then what's wrong with Anthony Davis? Is he out for the year?
No. What happens is that he goes into a game and then injures himself, and then comes back after 3 to 5 weeks, and then just injures himself, and we just see the same cycle over and over and over again. He's a great player. He just gets injured.
Injury issues. I mean, that plagues a lot of great players. But okay.
This begs the question, because obviously the trade deadline is a big factor into who's going to win the title. Any teams that you guys see potentially going out?
I keep hearing the Bucks, right? They're still like one of the top.
The Bucks
ones.
are still a very solid team.
The Clippers don't look terrible. They have not had a whole lot of play from either Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, and are still sitting pretty in the West. Sorry.
Yes.
I think once they get a little bit of their injury issues sorted, they could be a little bit more of a threat. Coming playoff time.
Yes, they also just signed Norman Powell and Robert Covington from the Trailblazers, who
they did that very quietly as
well. They did that. They were like, "Here, take these guys."
We're just gonna slide this across the
they're
table.
not gonna see. They're not. Kawhi's not coming back for the rest of the year, just because ACL or whatever he got in his leg. It's out for the rest of the year. Paul George has been really iffy. I think he's still going to be out for a while. Like that. But when they get healthy next season, that lineup is really good.
Looks good going forward.
Yeah. Andy, are there you said the Bucks, right?
Yeah, and then the Bulls are up there too, right?
The Bulls,
Cavs are up there.
The top team in the Eastern Conference right now is the Miami Heat.
Ooh.
Yes.
What about the Warriors? They're still doing good with Clay, right?
The Warriors are second in the West.
Warriors are still good. Warriors are always good.
The Warriors are always good.
It's going to be Warriors, Bucks. I'm calling it now.
I said
I
said Lakers, Bulls in my prediction. I think I'll take back the Lakers side.
Please take back the Lakers.
I'll put Warriors up there maybe.
I would just like to say that the Lakers right now, if the season ended today, they would have to be playing against the Pelicans in the play-in game.
That's funny.
And considering how good the Pelicans' offense can be, could you imagine I could honestly see a game where the Pelicans beat the Lakers.
Well, yeah, I could see a game where that. I mean, the Lakers don't play a lot of defense either, so I could see a 120-point game on either side of the court.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Moving on into our wrap-up segment. We got a big day on Sunday. Anybody want to guess what that big day is?
It's
Commercial
church.
Day.
Commercial Day, church.
Yes.
Eminem is performing in some stadium.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's going to be there.
Dr. Dre and Mary J. Blige will be there too.
Ooh.
The Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is
Hey,
this Sunday.
and by the way, I just want to say about the Super Bowl, I think it should be a national holiday. And if not, make Monday a national holiday so we don't have school.
It's on a Sunday. It's already its own national holiday.
Do a Super Bowl Saturday. That would be so much better.
Yeah, I'd be fine too.
I could get behind a Super Bowl.
I would have no
Saturday.
problem with that.
I would agree with that.
But big game.
Big game.
Huge. Well, obviously it's the Super Bowl. Come on.
Andy, you're gonna go first. Cincinnati Bengals versus the Los Angeles Rams, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NBC. Who you got?
Well, it's the last game for Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth. My childhood is dying.
It's going out.
Is Chris Collinsworth kind of annoying by calling every single NFL player ever one of the greatest guys to ever play football? Maybe slightly.
Well, look at this guy right here.
Yeah, well, this guy, one of the greatest NFL players ever. Whatever. No, and Al Michaels, that buttery voice, I'm going to miss him. And Chris Collinsworth, I mean, I'm just going to kind of miss the voice and just the nostalgia of that. But good way for them to go out. I think the Super Bowl will be good, but I have the Rams winning 31-17. 17. My kind of keys to the game, the Bengals offensive line will be bottled up by Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, and Jalen Ramsey. I know all of those guys aren't on the defensive line.
Well, Jalen Ramsey gets a sack.
Yeah,
they
could.
He kind of does whatever he wants on the defensive side.
Jalen can do whatever he wants.
No one stops him.
I think obviously the playoffs are where all of the bad parts of your team are just exposed. And I feel like last year the bad part of the Chiefs team was their offensive line, and that got exposed wildly in the Super Bowl. And obviously the Bengals offensive line is much worse than the Chiefs offensive line. I think that'll get exposed, especially by the insane human specimen that is Aaron Donald. I don't even know how that guy exists, but he himself might be able to take out 3 or 4 of their offensive linemen. I'll be completely honest with you. I think the Bengals can win despite their O-line, but I think it'll be their downfall. And I think Aaron Donald is hungry. Like, he wants it bad. And I feel like he's ready to go. I feel like McVay's ready to go. He's got a plan to stop these guys. And I think this is going to be the biggest game of Stafford's life, and he's going to come out and he's going to take it. I don't think, but the Bengals could win. They have nothing else to lose.
I would agree.
Rams have all the expectations. Bengals just go out there with some swag, some Joey Shiesty swag, Joey B. Win it. I don't know. Who knows?
Cool.
I could be wrong, but I think they won't.
What was your final score for that?
31-17.
31-17. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a solid score, personally.
I would agree. I think I've got Rams 31, Bengals 10. I think you guys are giving this Bengals offense way too much credit.
Oh, come on.
I think you're looking at Jalen Ramsey on Jamar Chase. You're looking at that offensive line of who against
Riley Reef.
Yes, Riley Reef.
Cool guy.
I'm gonna assume he's a wonderful guy, but
I'm assuming they're all nice guys. Why not? Yeah.
Eli Apple is their standout corner this year for the Cincinnati Bengals. He's going to get torched by Cooper Kupp.
Hey, no. Do not slander Jesse Bates, okay? He's a Fort Wayne man.
Jesse Bates went to my dad's high school.
Yeah.
Good for Jesse Bates.
Where'd your dad go to high school?
He went to yes. If you have any Fort Wayne people out there,
there will be a lot.
He went to Fort Wayne Snyder.
Ooh.
He went to Fort Wayne Snyder. He was the starting quarterback at Fort Wayne Snyder.
Interesting.
Good for Mr. Greer.
Yeah. Not a fan of Snyder football, to be completely honest with you, but whatever.
I think this is the biggest game of Stafford's life, and he is gonna be slinging that ball all over the field. If the Rams are going to try to balance their run game with their aerial attack, and Cam Akers going to get his touches, as long as he's not fumbling the ball too often, they'll be okay. I think the Bengals are still young. I don't think they'll be able to get it done on this biggest stage. I have OBJ and Cooper Kupp both going for at least 100 yards and a TD.
Jeez.
Rams front seven is gonna get
how many offensive yards are you expecting the Rams?
800 offensive yards,
450 offensive yards.
I am calling it. They are gonna run all over the Bengals defense. I am underqualified. I am a knucklehead.
Hold on.
I might be completely wrong.
Okay, so you just said that both OBJ and Kupp are gonna go over 100 yards, and they're going to destroy them and shred them on running with Cam Akers as well?
Man,
no.
And Zach Taylor is the coach of the year, everybody.
let me rephrase this. They're going to balance it with Cam Akers. Cam Akers is going to be their third and short guy.
Balancing is not two guys going for over 100 yards, though. That's
I get where he's coming from.
Yards.
I get where
Zach understands me. The NBA guy knows what I'm talking about
what
here.
You're talking about.
I think Cam Akers is their in-between guy. But I still think OBJ and Cooper Kupp are going to get the ball a lot. I think they're going to lean heavily on their aerial attack. I don't think Cam Akers is going to go for 100 yards. I think Cam Akers is going to get them third down conversions when they need third down conversions.
He's going to go for like 45.
He's going to go for 45, maybe 2.
That's not balancing at all. It's like 250 yards from two guys and then 45 from one.
Yeah, I can see it. I have no
How
faith.
is that shredding the Bengals?
I love me my Matthew Stafford, and I have no faith in this Bengals defense. That's just my opinion. Zach?
Well, I kind of have the exact same opinion that both of you guys have.
Why do we never have differing opinions?
Because we're
smart. We are smart, underqualified knuckleheads.
Fine.
Okay. Well, I don't think it will come down to a McPherson kick on this one. I think that it'll be close in the first half. and then the Rams will just proceed to pull away due to how good this defense is. I think that the key factor on this defense is not Donald, it's not Ramsey. For me, it's Leonard Floyd.
Okay.
He's going to be the key factor. He's been amazing. He has been a pest all playoffs long.
Whoa.
My microphone just retracted. Yes, he's been a pest all playoff long. And I just want to say this really quickly before my mic apparently breaks, that Kupp is going to get his yards and Eli Apple is not good. Chobi Awuzie is pretty good as well, but if you're going up against OBJ and Cooper Kupp and Van Jefferson, I don't think that they really have that much of a chance. Actually, they have a chance. But I love Leonard Floyd. I want him to win MVP so badly. I'm pushing the Leonard Floyd MVP. Final score 34-20 LA Rams.
So it looks like we all have the Rams.
And congratulations to the Cincinnati Bengals for winning the Super Bowl, because we're not going to get this right.
I think we're going to get this right. I think.
No, imagine the Bengals just go out and win like 38-0.
My favorite soccer team, Arsenal, is owned by a guy named Stan Kroenke. If you know that name, he also owns the LA Rams. And as much as I don't like him for what he's done with Arsenal, I believe he'll be holding the Vince Lombardi trophy.
It's in the Rams stadium.
Come on. We'll see how it goes. That about wraps it up for our longest episode to date.
Yeah.
Thank you for sticking with us for all of the fun stuff.
55 minutes.
Hey, we're good. Thank you so much, Zach, for joining us on the pod today.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope that I can come back anytime that you guys talk about basketball or football. Because
you're a great guy to talk to.
The NFL is coming to an end, and some content's going to be needed. So anytime that you need NBA, I'm your guy.
Yes.
We've got plans.
Hopefully
worry.
we'll have a mic that doesn't retract on you in the middle of the sentence next
We'll
time.
work on that.
All right. Well, thank you again very much, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to do this every week.
Obviously.